This is Hawked. We're here on Xbox Series X. Be sure to like the video. Subscribing is great as well. So this is a free-to-play PvPvE extraction shooter where the goal is to go in, gather loot, solve some puzzles, gather an artifact, and then leave while dealing with the local wildlife, other players, and any other traps and or other problems that might arise along the way. So what are we getting here? It's a 4K resolution at 60 FPS. We do have an FPS counter in the top left that is built into the game. It does seem to be basically locked. And yeah, the game does aesthetically look decently nice and sharp. It is embracing a Fortnite-esque aesthetic to it, with a deep level of character personalization and customization. And you know what? They actually give you a good selection of ways to personalize your character right off the bat, which I thought was really, really cool. But being a free-to-play, obviously you can extend that and go a lot further. So the game is this large map environment. As I did kind of mention, it is PvPvE, so you are facing off against each other in like quick battles and combat and trying to survive while others are trying to kill you, whether that is, you know, some of the local creatures or some real players like we're just kind of dealing with there. But yeah, you've got this really large-scale map, which is just full of different things to do and activities, so it does feel rather fresh each time you go at it, because the environments are so varied and have so many different little things going on within them. So you've got like little battle pockets, you've got the main puzzles, you've got some hidden secrets, you got some bonuses and benefits. And yeah, you're really just trying to survive and gather things and then eventually get out alive with your rewards. And then you can use those rewards in order to buy, like, you know, better benefits and better tools and gear between matches. This is all a very, very interesting concept in terms of gameplay and what it aims to offer. So we've got like this set of inventory here. So this is kind of stuff you gather while you're playing, you know, trinkets, artifacts, lockboxes, mods. But then you also go into the matches with a preset like kit that you have basically chosen to embrace during your particular battle. And you're aiming to gather enough resources and stuff in order to get better tools the next time you go about it, which is kind of cool, at least I think so. There's a full ping system, and a few different ways to get around, different like ultimate abilities that you have, and yeah, it's kind of fascinating, it really is. It is based around the idea of doing these light puzzle type scenarios though that pop up. We're kind of working towards them to a degree. I don't know if that was somebody shooting at me or what there. And then you gather these glyphs. So the puzzles are pretty quick. They're usually like, shoot something to move this symbol to match this symbol. And I mean, it makes complete sense because you've got to, you know, be able to do this fast. Otherwise, other people are going to completely obliterate you while you're doing stuff. And, you know, obviously that is a worry. And then we have these other little interesting things, these little guardians, as to say, these familiars. And these familiars, what they do is they kind of reward you if you follow them, and they'll show you like where special rewards and stuff are. It's kind of cool. So it's just like an extra, I guess you would say, layering on top of the chaos that's happening. But yeah, it's kind of a neat game where I think you might enjoy it, but it depends on if you're into this type of setup. You know, this gameplay loop. If it's something that interests you, you will kind of maybe find this to be fun. It's a little weird to me to some degree, because I'm kind of like, okay, this is neat. Like it hits on, I'd say, the Fortnite type thing, right? Just from an aesthetic standpoint, that's definitely what they're aiming to provide, and I don't have a problem with that in the slightest. Actually makes a lot of sense to me. And it's just kind of like this concept of coming in, doing like puzzles. Like the world is varied enough that I think it should feel fresh as you continue to go through it. Ooh, we are getting some frame rate drops in this area. That's interesting. It's been pretty smooth for me so far, so that is an interesting surprise that there's a little bit of a drop there. But it is cool to have an FPS counter just available to give me an idea of things while we're playing, right? Yeah, it's kind of cool. Like, I could see myself playing a bit of it. I don't know long term if it fully is going to capture my interest, because like sometimes it's action packed, like we're getting today for this match, which is great. But other times it's sort of like a bit slower, like you're just kind of running around, waiting to do stuff, just doing puzzles, and it really depends on when you're running into people and, you know, how often that is. And it changes greatly from match to match, which is expected in this type of game, I guess you would say. It just, like, it seems at times there isn't, like, a full focus in what you're doing, and then other times you're completely focused on what you're doing, and I thought that was kind of fascinating. I also didn't really see any promotion for this one. I know that's a weird thing to kind of mention within this type of video, but I did think it was a bit weird that this kind of just came out of nowhere, and I guess you know, part of what I do is to highlight these kinds of games and showcase them to you. But yeah, it's kind of neat. I think you'll either really be into this thing, or you'll kind of be like, I don't know. But I do think it's kind of fun. Like, it does have like a fun element to it that I kind of enjoy to some degree. I'm just really curious long term how intriguing the overall setup will continue to be, or if it will continue to be intriguing. And that's the weird kind of part of doing these types of review things, is kind of like, you know, it's hard to foresee the future and how well this one will be supported and different things, and how well the community will go into it. Because it's a lot more fun if you are playing with others, right? Like if you're actually interacting with other people, because it's kind of like, oh, well, if there's not other people to interact with, like, what's the point, right? And this is like a side little thing that we're doing. It opens like a little area and a little vault spot. And yeah, so it does, like you're kind of seeing, hopefully, have some edges to it in terms of little surprises, little traps. It's kind of a little bit like Indiana Jones meets Fortnite to some degree. You know, you're out here kind of doing an adventure type thing, gathering stuff, and then, you know, you've got to deal with traps, and you've got to gather your resource, your special relic, and then get out of there. And I think that's kind of cool. Yeah, and you get some neat weapons and some neat tools. It definitely has its own vibe and style to it that I think works well for it. Like, I actually do find this to be, I guess you would say, aesthetically pleasing. You know, I like the visuals, I like the movement and how this one feels to play. So I think it's definitely got that kind of strong vibe going to it for it. And to it as well, I guess. But mostly the thing is like, how is this one... You know, I'm curious about finding an audience and all that kind of thing. Like, you know, where are they going with it long term? Is this one going to fully connect? Is it going to be something where you're still playing against other players? You know, with a little bit of a fill-in here and stuff. And yeah, it could work pretty well, I think. If it finds its audience, it definitely could work pretty well. I think I really didn't show off too much of the puzzle stuff, though. It is mostly down to shooting an object or two, and then attempting to escape is really the big thing. Is like, you know, you do your battles, you do your little areas, and then you get out of here. I do also like the traversal. Like, sometimes there's like things you can climb up, little yellow markings on the walls, as you can see up ahead. Sometimes you use like a bit of a grappling hook. You know, it changes. And enemies will kind of have an idea about your artifact too, but it doesn't like clearly show them. So it's kind of interesting because it gives you a chance to actually like escape or evade, and also gives the chance for other teams to kind of do a little bit of hunting towards you as well, which I think is rather interesting. It looks like we are going to be getting out of here, which is great. And now we've extracted, and our team will go onward, so I'll see you in the next match here. Alrighty, we're in another match here that I didn't realize I was matchmaking into. That's fascinating. So, yeah, I really do think the approach and style to this game has the potential to perhaps, you know, build up an audience and get this rolling and stuff. And I hope maybe it's kind of something intriguing enough to give a whirl to, because I think some people that try this one out will likely enjoy what it has to offer. Like, it does actually feel fresh to some degree. I mean, it's not like it's the craziest thing I've ever played, but it's definitely very unique and different. You know, it hits that extraction shooter kind of thing well on the platform, you know, consoles and stuff, and then kind of does its own flair. Like, it feels really, really familiar, but at the same time, at least a little bit different, and I guess that's a good approach to doing something a little bit unique for the console side of things, I would say for sure. Oh, there's a question mark over here. What does it mean? And they do have enough variation in like little side activities that could kind of get you, you know, maybe doing something a little different, and the movement and stuff's kind of fun. Like, I think maybe the younger audience might really, you know, the ones that are really into the whole Fortnite type setup, I think would most find this one to be an interesting, different type of take to kind of dive into. I'm actually surprised that Fortnite hasn't tried, you know, to do a battle royale pivot and feature an extraction option as well as their main kind of thing, because this does seem to be that up and coming craze, and it should be interesting to see if this is actually fully what people want from these types of games. I mean, it's kind of unique. Got a little bit of side, like, I guess really what it is the VE part of it, like PvPvE, kind of gives you a little bit of focus until something crazier does happen when you come across real players, and then throwing them into the mix too is kind of fun, just having these, you know, monsters that you're kind of battling while you're doing other stuff. Can we go up from the zipline, or I think the zipline only goes down, right? Because, yeah, we get up there. Oh, there's... Huh. That's funny. Yeah, I should have noticed that. I was like, usually ziplines, they don't let you go up like that. Huh. Even like the creature, like, it seems like they're trying to do like some kind of unique lore sort of thing with this. And that I do appreciate. And they allow you just enough movement to like quickly get around, and the more familiar you are with the map, the more you're going to be knowledgeable in handling difficult situations, your movement, or knowing where those like hidden little paths are that can get you out of places faster. Yes, it is neat. It really genuinely is. Huh. Like, it's very, very distinct and different, and it kind of hits that little mark of being like a cozy, easygoing little multiplayer game. Obviously not super cozy when you're, you know, fighting other players and stuff, but you know, it is kind of simple going enough where I'm not feeling as though I'm constantly under a crazy amount of pressure to do things and perform. Obviously, everyone's feelings on this are going to change a little bit too, based on their competitiveness within this type of game. I also do like the whole puzzle and glyph solving system. I think that's kind of fun in itself. Although it's still not coming across that enough to show it to you. But yeah, this little guy too, like we mentioned earlier, he'll take you to some cool spots, that's for sure. And I think there's a good amount of variation too in the gears you come across, because the gears will change your gameplay up a bit. I'm gonna go do this. I think all those other guys go do that. Uh-oh. Shoot the crystals so the symbol surrounds all 4 of the pillars. Which symbol? Everybody gets 1 shot. So you're not sure which symbol it's actually asking for. The house symbol, the eye symbol, or the other symbol? This is the one that kind of confuses me a little bit, because I'm always like, what symbol are you trying to have me actually get to? Is it the snake? That's a shield. Because, yeah, you're doing your thing, and these other guys are coming in here causing problems for you. You die super fast in this, too. You may have a shield and some health, but that really doesn't seem to do a whole lot for you when you're getting attacked. Like, you know, they kind of come in pretty fast. Should I do the Gatling gun or the shotgun? Shotgun's usually pretty good. I'm gonna go with the shotgun and the Gatling. I think would be a great idea. I got it, guys. I got this.
Somebody's close. I should stock up at the shop.
Trying to go and revive my buddy here. Is it reviving? It's just an awkward spot because he's on a corner here. And there's like enemies fighting us too, which isn't great. You're welcome, teammate. You're welcome. Yeah, the environment too. It's not like it's some crazy wild current gen experience like for the visuals and everything like that, but they do look good enough. They got good draw distance. They let you shoot your enemies from a distance so you don't feel like you're out of place. This is actually a pretty well polished, solid package that literally came out of absolutely nowhere with no advertising or anything like that at all. Which I don't think was a smart idea, because this could have been maybe a larger impact hit right off the bat, but you know, as long as people kind of discover it and kind of showcase it, I think that's intriguing. So look at that, doing little relic puzzle things, kinda neat. Alright, now we gotta go back. They definitely get you moving around.
Protect the loot.
You getting attacked by a real player or just like a creature? These kids and their fancy hoverboards. I'm just out here battling, trying to survive. Crazy thing too is when you get like respawns in from dying in that. It really does change up the play a bit. Oh wow, actually I kind of like this more than the Gatling gun. The little SMG is fun. And then we're almost getting out of here, I guess you would say. We just gotta get a little bit more of an artifact going on. Someone's extracting. What a weird world too. It's like this twisted thing of fantasy and action, and yeah, it's definitely got like a different mash of like stuff going on. I really don't know how people are gonna feel about this game overall. I kinda like this. I think it's kind of fun and mellow in that, but I think a lot of people expect more of a frenzy kind of going on, if that makes sense. Like constant craziness. The question too is the number of real players. Yes. Oh, magic artifact, how we do it. Shoot the blue crystal to defeat the disciples that come forth. Oh no. It's a wave-based survival battle thing. There we go, finally get some purple stuff. But yeah, I like these because they're encounters that are designed to be done really, really fast. But they can be detrimental because you can have enemies popping out of nowhere and literally just killing you while you're doing stuff. No way, is the extraction like right on the other side of this? I think we like jump down and get to this point. Oh no. It's the wildlife and also these spikes that are gonna kill me. That's not good. And my teammates are kind of close, but not close enough. That's not great at all. I kind of doomed myself, I think, a little bit. Yeah, it was the traps that kind of did me in. Also, the creatures shooting me from behind were not the best friends. Don't worry, Mr. Negativity is going to come and save the day. Thank you, man. Oh, he's giving me pats. Anyways, that's the game.